Today's topic, what are you against? Hi, I'm Doug Holt, author of Your Own Story, and this is your Daily Growth Hack, where each day we give you a tip, trick, or insight to help you uplevel what we call the 5 to thrive. That is your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships, and yes, your business. So what is it that you stand against? Now, yeah, it's easy to talk about what we stand for, especially in the realm of personal and business development. That's the warm and fuzzies. But what is it you stand against? Because oftentimes I find for most of my clients, that is a better driving factor, a driving force, I should say, right? It's the things that we actually stand against that separate us. So for you, it might actually be you stand against illiteracy, or you might stand against what you would define as ignorance, or you might actually stand against poor communication in the area of your relationships. Now, I don't know about you, but I know it's true for me that when I sat down and defined my 5 to thrive and what it is I stood against, it gave me clarity to pull me through those harsh moments that happen in life. For example, early on in my relationship with my wife, we had arguments that would come back and forth, and these arguments were on misunderstandings. And what I stood for was clear communication. But it wasn't until I understood what I stood against that it actually pulled me into a place where I could actually stand in my power and be a rock in our relationship to allow us to communicate to each other better. And what I define that as, I stood against me allowing, or anyone allowing, their ego and ignorance to stand in the way of clear communication. And that was for me. Right? I would get so mad at something that she would say, and she'd get mad, and we go, and I kind of put my hands on my hip like a high school kid, it seemed like, or whatever. And I'm not going back to her to apologize. I'm the man, I'm strong, and she's wrong, and I'm right. But once I stood against something, once I stood against that type of action, once I stood against people in general, but especially me, allowing myself to hinder what I was wanting. What I was wanting is connection and love. That's when things started to change for us, and our relationship started to change. Now, I've also stood against other things. Now, in the area of fitness or my body, I stand against quick fixes. And so I get tempted like most everybody in the world, right? Marketing is being thrown at us left and right. Take this pill, that pill. You'll sleep better. You'll have better sex. You'll look better. You can have pizza, ice cream, and still have a six-pack. Whatever it is, they can be tempting at times. But when I stood against quick fixes, it allowed me to transform my way of thinking, my paradigm shift. Even though I had the intellect and the knowledge, I had over 18 degrees and certifications in the fitness field. But still, when I stood against quick fixes, it allowed me to drive forward in a way that when a quick fix would come my way, I wasn't as tempted because it was something I stood against. So I'm going to ask you this question. If you feel any of this resonates with you, grab your journal, write out your 5 to thrive. So it's your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships, and your business. And in each categories, write down what you stand against, right? So in the area of your mind, what do you stand against? Do you stand against people only having one language or one cultural experience, so therefore you're going to learn a foreign language? Or do you stand against illiteracy, therefore you're going to read even though you don't like it right now? Whatever it is for you, you can change it. I know you can, because I've seen this happen with so many people. My clients definitely do this. So once you've written that down, what you stand against, if they pull you forward, if you look at these and you're like, wow, I'm really against this, and it could be something big. It could be child pornography. That could be an area that you stand against in one of your categories, right? And that's something that definitely would pull me forward and make sure that I'm going on the right path, and something that I'm just very adamant about. And it's a make or break deal for me in my world. So find those things for you. Now, if they don't move you at all, then that's not really something you stand against. Find things that actually move you and pull you forward into your future. Now, once you do it, I'd highly recommend printing this out, writing it, putting on a notepad or something, and putting next to your computer monitor or someplace you're going to see it regularly. Now, what this is going to help you do is, by knowing what you stand against, you now start to take action. It defines who you are. And make sure these things that you stand against are things that you want to, that are pulling you towards your author of your own story lifestyle. Now, once you have those, I encourage you to share them, right? Share these. You can share this message here as well, but share this with at least 3 people that you know. so you can have conversations that matter. You can build your tribe. Now, I always recommend that you share these daily growth hacks so you can have these conversations, and you can do that, that's bonus points, but share these things that you stand against. And I guarantee you're gonna open up conversations with people that you're close to and maybe people you wanna be close to like you've never had before. That's it for me today. As always, go over to authorofyourownstory.com where you get the latest tips, tricks, and techniques delivered right to your inbox. Of course, you can always unsubscribe. We know how to do that. But most of you, I love hearing from you. When you sign up for the newsletter, I ask you 2 questions. And for those of you that have replied, thank you so much. You give me an insight into your life, and we go back and forth. And I've built some great relationships with you, and I really appreciate that. The rest of you, get on it. And the rest, make sure, no matter what, just go out and have an awesome day. Be yourself. Be the author of your own story and step into your own light and inspire somebody else. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed today's Daily Growth Hacks. Please put your comments right down below and remember to click subscribe. This way we can ensure that we're delivering these daily growth hacks right to you each and every day. On behalf of the whole team here, remember, go out and be the author of your own story.